All right, so this past year was easily one of the best years of my life and easily the worst year of my life. I've been living with an autoimmune disease called, hold on. Let me start from the beginning, set the mood. Mind you, this was in the summer. Obviously, it does not look like the summer. I live in the GTA, Greater Toronto area. It's been one of the coldest weeks ever, so use your imagination a bit, but let's set the tone and start from the beginning.
It was June of 2023. Maria had just given birth to our baby boy. I had been golfing a lot, literally my favorite hobby. I had lost around 70 pounds at this point, which obviously meant that my health was going in the right direction. I was getting ready to go on vacation and I was about to turn the big 3-0. Then I was on the phone with Maria in between showings, as I usually do, and I kept complaining that I was stuck in traffic and
I'm gonna piss my
I've always drank a lot of water, and this summer felt particularly hot, so I was drinking anywhere from 4 to 6 liters of water a day, so having to piss a lot seemed perfectly normal to me. And of course, Maria, with her medical background, would always kind of hint that, you should check your blood sugar because she kind of had some suspicions.
I thought she was crazy for even insinuating that I ate that poorly, especially after I just lost all that weight.
Then one day, I happened to see my father-in-law checking his blood sugar, so I sneakily decided to go and check mine too, without telling anybody, especially making sure not to tell Maria. I was thinking I couldn't let her be right about this one. I did the test, looked at the number, and saw 2 letters that immediately made my heart drop. Hi. I didn't know what to do. I freaked out and I Googled, which I'm sure would be most people's first instinct, and it said that I should be in a coma with blood sugar numbers that high. It was such a shock, and that night I had showings and I took my clients out and tried to summon the courage the whole night to call Maria and tell her. I mean, she's a nurse, so I figured she'd tell me, this was some sort of a mix-up and how I probably did the test wrong.
But she didn't. All she said was,
Travis, you definitely have diabetes. You need to fix your diet. If not for me, then for your kids and your dumbass dog.
I decided right then and there that I was going to change my life around. I cut out carbs completely, cut out sugars, and started eating really, really healthy. And this was going to be my life from now on.
Now let this be a lesson to all you men out there. I actually picked up the phone, I listened to my wife, and I called the doctor by myself.
Hi, I'd like to book an appointment for Travis. Yeah, this is his wife.
The doctor didn't even bring me in. He just told me go get some blood work done and he'll call me if anything is serious.
Then the day finally comes where I'm sitting with Maria at the doctor. He asked me to give him a rundown of basically what's been happening, what led up to this. And believe me, I made sure not to mention the fact that I was binge drinking the whole weekend because Maria had thrown me that surprise party. And he looks at my blood work and he says, well, you know what? You're a full-blown diabetic. I said, I know. I made all the changes. I stopped eating sugar. I stopped with the carbs, all that kind of stuff. And he stops me right away and says, no. This is type 1 diabetes.
Now at this point, everything was a blur because
What the type 1 diabetes and how is it different from what I thought I had? We couldn't afford Margot Robbie, so here's Maria to explain what type 1 diabetes is.
Type 1 diabetes is autoimmune, meaning your immune system is attacking your organs, usually for no apparent reason. Winston, go potty. In this case, your immune system is attacking the pancreas. To simplify it, when you eat, you're consuming sugar, usually, and your pancreas is supposed to release insulin so that it lowers the sugar in your blood. When that functioning is impaired, what happens is the sugars in your blood stay there and they don't come down, and therefore you get very, very sick, you end up in the hospital or worse. So right from diagnosis, usually type 1 diabetics require insulin through injections right from the get-go. Unfortunately, at this point, the pancreas functioning has gone to complete shit and you have no choice because it doesn't repair itself ever. Despite the name, the cause of type 1 diabetes is completely different from type 2 diabetes, which is more commonly known. Type 1 diabetes is unfortunately incurable, but with type 2 diabetes, you can better manage it or reverse it with better diet and exercise. From further blood work results, it has been conclusive conclusive that Travis does have type 1 diabetes, or what's called LADA, latent autoimmune diabetes in adults.
I got home and I was in a daze. My brain was foggy and I just didn't feel right. I didn't know how to process everything, and all I kept thinking was, thank God my wife is a nurse. I couldn't help but keep thinking about my kids and if they'll end up getting this one day. Every time I looked at Maria, she's endlessly Googling, researching, asking questions on forums, booking appointments, and so on and so on. And to think she was still going through some postpartum adjustments at this point, having just had our second baby 2 months prior. Then we came back home and I'm starting to notice that my legs are hurting like hell. Pain all day, every day. I couldn't sleep and therefore I couldn't work. All I could think about and talk about was how much pain I was in. And at this point, I was just desperate for any type of relief. I was popping over-the-counter pain medicine on schedule, using CBD to sleep, and getting massages almost every single day. And I mean, it would help for a day or two, but then I was just back to the suffering right away. Any type of movement like golfing or walking or anything like that was the only things that made me feel somewhat better. At this point, people are starting to notice that I'm looking pale or tired or like I haven't slept in days. Finally, Maria comes across a condition called treatment-induced neuropathy of diabetes. And after switching to a specialist who didn't dismiss me, he agreed that this was what was going on, and finally, I got prescribed a medication that would eventually help me. Now, 6 months or so in, and I'm doing much better. I'm coming to grips with the nature of the disease, and especially the fact that I'll be dealing with this for the rest of my life. Unless some amazing researchers find some sort of miracle cure. Although sometimes I get frustrated or angry when people try to make it seem like the disease was something that I could have avoided and something that I can cure, I try not to let this get the best of me because I am extremely lucky.
With all the events surrounding the time frame, I'm just amazed and so lucky that I actually checked my blood sugar that day in June, a week before my surprise birthday, where I would have been drinking so much, or even a few weeks before going to Mexico, an all-inclusive resort where I could have ended up in a hospital in Mexico. I'm just so lucky that I actually checked my blood sugar that day. And I know it sucks and everything, but I'm lucky that I'm still here today and things weren't worse. Men's health. It's so important, and let's be real, man, we're all adults here. And if you've made it to the end of this video and you have loved ones who are living with type 1 diabetes or any sickness, any disease, just remember to check on them from here to there.